What about variables that aren't constants? We talked about this one already. Variables should start with lowercase, and at each word change, after that first word, capitalize the first letter of the new word. So have we been doing that? Let's look at our variables. Here's our first one, var, draw, mole. Yes, the first one is lowercase, and then we change words at mole, and then we make that uppercase. If you remember, that's called camel case. How about this one, draw hole? Oh, look, it's all lowercase. We need to change that to the uppercase, hole, and then since we used it, we have to change the call also so the names match. Okay, let's keep going. We found our draw hole variable. Where's var? Oh, here's our var. Well, those are constants, so we're not going to change those. And let's add a comment to that. Constants to hold the canvas dimensions. Okay, here's our next one, random x. Okay, the first word is random, is lowercase, and then change is x, so that's capital. That's good. Random y also is good. How about this one for var I? Well, it's, you know, that's the first word, I, so that's good. That meets that requirement. Okay, so it looks like our variable names are all corrected now. So it says names variables with meaningful names and avoid abbreviations. So have we done that? Well, draw mole. I think that's pretty meaningful. When we look at that, we can understand that it's going to draw the little animal face. Draw a hole. Again, that's pretty meaningful. Random x. Well, x and y, those are pretty standard for a coordinate system, so that seems pretty good. And I is kind of an exception to the rule. I is commonly used as a counter because we're only really concerned with the I as being a counter, and it's commonly used as such, and so everyone understands I as a counter variable. J is also commonly used as a counter variable when we get nested loops. So I is fine, and it is an exception to the rule. Let's see, what about our parameter names? These, even though it doesn't say var in front of them, they are also variable names because they're the names we're giving data that gets passed into the function. Mole x. Is that very meaningful? Mole x. You know, it's not bad. It describes the x position for the mole. I'd take that. What about xpos? Well, Khan Academy uses that all the time, so we're pretty familiar with that abbreviation, so I wouldn't say it's the worst thing to do, but if we were going to follow our rules strictly, we should really say x position and spell that correctly. And then when we change that, we have to make sure we change it where it's used. So it's a good idea to give your variables the proper naming in the first place, because when you go back to fix it, then you have to make sure you fix it consistently everywhere. Okay, so I think we've taken care of all our variables. They have meaningful names.